Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to be reading a book. This book does indicate that you should press out this piece, write your name on page 1. So we're just going to use mouse as a reference, but this one does encourage you to have the story starring you. So we'll just call it Mouse's Big Heart. A cold wind rustled through the woods. Fall's almost over, Bear said. It's time for my long winter sleep. Mouse gave Bear a hug and heard his tummy rumble. I'm hungry, but I can't stop to eat, yawned Bear. I might fall asleep right here in these woods. You must hurry home, Bear. Goodbye, exclaimed Mouse. See you in the spring, Bear promised. Poor Bear, he's going to bed hungry, thought Mouse, as Bear shuffled away through the autumn leaves. I have to help him. Oh, look, blackberries. Bear will love these. Balancing on a stump and grappling a branch to pull the berries close, Mouse wibbled and wobbled and slipped off the stump. Help! Yelled Mouse, dangling from the blackberry bush. Luckily, Fox was passing by. You're too small to climb up there. I'll help you down, he said. I'm not too small, huffed Mouse. The blackberry bush is just too tall. Let me help, Fox smiled as he pulled the branch closer. Mouse picked the 3 biggest blackberries and said, Thank you. These are for Bear. Mouse set off through the woods to Bear's den, but the 3 big blackberries were too heavy to carry. One berry fell, and the other, and then the other. That's a lot of berries for such a small mouse, chuckled Squirrel. I'm not a small mouse, insisted Mouse. I haven't finished growing yet, and these berries aren't for me. They're for Bear. Why don't you pull them along on a leaf, suggested Squirrel. Mouse found a big leaf, piled the blackberries on top, and said, Thank you, Squirrel. But Squirrel had already hurried away to bury his food for the winter. Mouse pulled the berries up the hill, puffing. I hope Bear's still awake. Suddenly, there was a grumbling voice. What's that on my back? Hedgehog felt something stuck on his spine. It's a nut, said Mouse. I can help. It's in a very awkward place, muttered Hedgehog. On tiptoes, Mouse carefully reached into his spine and cheered. Got it! You can have it, grunted Hedgehog as he scurried off. Mouse added the nut to the pile of berries by tugging on the leaf, caused everything to fall off and roll down the hill. Come back, cried Mouse, racing after them. One berry fell into a rabbit hole, one rolled into tall grass, and Hedgehog's nut plopped into a puddle. At the bottom of the hill, there was just one berry left. Mouse huffed. I can't even run as fast as a blackberry. I'm just too small. A flock of birds flew overhead on their way to find a warmer home. A chilly breeze blew the leaves and rustled the dry grass. Mouse sighed and thought, Winter's almost here, and Bear's going to be hungry. Picking up the last berry and starting back up the hill, Mouse decided, at least, this will be better than nothing. Offering Bear a blackberry at his den, Mouse explained, I didn't want you to be hungry. I wanted to bring you lots, but I was too small to reach them all, and too small to carry them, and too small to catch them when they rolled down the hill. Bear lifted Mouse gently into his paw. "You may be small," he said with a smile, "but you have a big heart." He pointed inside his den. It was full of nuts and berries that Bear had gathered. "Berries grow on bushes and nuts grow on trees," said Bear. "But best friends aren't so easy to find." Mouse gave Bear a big, big hug, and together the two friends sat and watched the sunset in the autumn sky until it was time for Bear's long winter sleep. And that's the end of the story. Thank you for watching and have a good night.